Hello, I'm Stephen Dinan with the Washington Times. I'm here with Fred Ferguson, Vice President of Public Affairs at Vista Outdoor, and we're here to talk about gunpowder shortages. And Fred, thank you for taking the time. Understand we've been getting some reports that their ammunition dealers are beginning to see some uptick, some upward pressure in certain ammunition, and are saying that there's a surprising source for that. That they are saying that the global demand for gunpowder from the Ukraine-Russia war, plus a couple of other choke points, is sort of leaving some American consumers wondering what they're going to see. Tell us what you're seeing and why it might be happening.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Vista represents Remington and Federal Ammunition and a few other ammunition brands. And, we are one of the largest manufacturers of ammunition in the country. And we have seen demand for gunpowder go up, and that's made it harder for us to produce ammunition. Now we're able to keep our machines running and we're making ammo, but it's getting more expensive as the availability of gunpowder goes down, the prices go up. But what we've seen is the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives, led by Senator Risch and Representative Tom Emmer, have stepped up to talk about gunpowder and specifically nitrocellulose as being a key ingredient in our national security. And so we're seeing more actions taken at the governmental level to make sure that we have enough nitrocellulose in gunpowder so that we can produce ammunition for consumers, for law enforcement, and for the military.
What are the choke points that, in terms of the supply? I guess two sides of it. What are the choke points for the supply, and what is the reason for the increased demand?
Yeah, so the choke point is nitrocellulose. It's an ingredient that is necessary for the production of gunpowder. And gunpowder for ammunition is ubiquitous across calibers. So if you're using a small caliber, hunting rifle, the same gunpowder is used for a shell that goes in a tank, or a 155 millimeter howitzer that we're seeing used in greater numbers in Ukraine and the Israel conflict. So when those theaters are using more gunpowder, we're seeing shortages happen in other parts of the ammunition supply chain, including, for us on the commercial and law enforcement production side.
And so I've been hearing that there's China's role in the production of nitrocellulose. I guess tell us what the who the big players have been in the production of nitrocellulose, what the U.S. capacity is in that market, and sort of some of the action that China is taking that might be contributing to that choke.
Well, it's been reported that nitrocellulose exports from China to Russia have been rising, and that rise has happened and coincided with their invasion of Ukraine. In the U.S., we do have a robust gunpowder production supply chain, and the U.S. Army, in concert with Senator Risch and Tom Emmer, as I mentioned, they're going to invest up to $700 million in existing ammunition facilities here in the U.S. so that our gunpowder and nitrocellulose supply chain can be strengthened, as global demand has gone up.
Is that for the two existing facilities, or are there plans for new facilities?
So the $700 million investment is planned for an existing facility at the Radford Army Ammunition Plant. Senator Risch and Tom Emmer, they're leading an effort to basically direct the U.S. Army to create a long-term strategic plan so that we can have a better supply chain for the future as it relates to gunpowder and key ingredients such as nitrocellulose. So that effort is more long-term in focus, where the Army's $700 million decision is going to help us in the immediate term.
And remind me again, Radford is that's the nitrocellulose, or that's the actual gunpowder production?
Yeah, so it's kind of all of the above. It's a facility in Virginia where they make nitrocellulose, gunpowder, and the like.
So the Radford facility is that more is that more the gunpowder or more the nitro? There's one facility that does the nitrocellulose, right?
Yeah, Radford has capacity for nitrocellulose, and the Army investment will allow them to do more.
All right. Tell me a little bit about the You touched on this earlier, but the issue of, I assume that the defense industry gets its supply, and it's sort of the private, the non-industry, non-defense industry market that ends up feeling the pinch. Is that how it works?
That's accurate. We are predominantly a commercial supplier of ammunition. And so, there are moments where, the defense industry is getting, first dibs on available product, and we are, then in line. And what we found is we have access to nitrocellulose and gunpowder. It's just more expensive. And we've seen, price increases in the market that unfortunately are hitting, those consumers that, do recreational shooting, hunters, and the like. And I think the Army's investment and the long-term strategic plan that Senator Risch and Representative Emmer are pushing is only going to help the entire industry, because a stronger supply chain for nitrocellulose, it's going to support the defense industry, of course, but that's going to have, down market benefits to companies like ours in the commercial sector.
What other actions are there? Actions that the outside of Congress, are there other actions that you all are looking for to sort of stabilize that supply chain? I understand one of the issues is sort of the preparing for the ups and downs of demand. Obviously, there's a large demand right now. If, say, those two wars are resolved, then demand might change, and you might have, I understand this has happened in the past, where you sort of have that, and we saw with COVID and other issues, right? Other supplies, where folks were sort of counting on a certain level of demand standard. The pandemic happened, you saw an increase in demand, and then it wanes, and the country is left trying to figure out what the appropriate level of investment is for the long term.
Sure. And I think that's the beauty of the Risch-Emmer process is they're asking the Army to create a strategic plan, a long-term plan, and the legislation does include collaboration and coordination with private industry, so that we all collectively can talk about demand planning. What are the trends? What are the cycles? How can we work together through public-private partnerships to ensure that we're not overcorrecting, with supply, but we can always be in that right balance, while recognizing that this input into ammunition really is a national security concern, and we do need to plan for that. And I think the public-private approach that Risch and Emmer have laid out is the right way to go.
What have I not asked you that I should have? What else do readers, or in this case, I guess viewers, need to know about the shortage? And I mean, what are they likely to see in terms of prices in the next 6 months to a year? And are there sort of, what are you telling your customers?
Yeah, and so this I guess is not necessary for the video, but we have a letter that went out to our customers in December, and it talked about, our prices are having to increase because our access to powder has gone up. The price of powder has gone up. And that letter was leaked. It was shared with the media, so it's in the public sphere. And I'm happy to send that to you, so you can get a sense of what a manufacturer like ours is communicating with our customers. Because we want to be transparent, and our goal is to ensure that we have ammunition on the shelves. And we're doing that. There is ample ammunition available. It's just, in some cases, in some calibers, the price is going up. But we hope and believe that these investments from the Army, this long-term strategic plan, can help us in these moments of high demand to have more supply to meet our strategic and commercial needs.
Fred Ferguson from Vista Outdoor, thank you so much.
Thank you.